Hello and welcome to this presentation as part of the online BALEAP Conference 2021. This presentation is focusing on EAP teachers' perspectives on technology-enhanced learning through COVID and beyond. My name is Sundeep Dhillon and I am an ESRC-funded PhD student at the University of Warwick. I'll begin with an outline of what will be covered in the presentation. Firstly, the presentation will give an overview of the research project that I've been undertaking, provide some background details, the focus of the project and the research design. The key results of data collection from an online questionnaire will then be presented, with a focus on the demographics, the top 3 technological tools, other tools identified by participants, factors which underlie the use of technology in EAP teaching, and also professional development. Just to give some background to the research project, the use of technology within language learning and indeed higher education is not a new concept and features quite heavily in research. It is something, though, which has expanded in importance in recent times. This research focuses on technology-enhanced learning, which is defined as the study of how we learn and teach with interactive technologies and how to design and evaluate effective technologies for learning. EAP teachers increasingly require conversancy in using and delivering technology-enhanced learning in order to support their learners with demands of language learning and also to support learners with their further studies. There have been calls for regular professional development and teacher training in technology use for EAP and ESP teachers, and also encouragement to participate in scholarship in this area, even prior to COVID. As everyone is well aware by now, the impact of the COVID pandemic has been a catalyst for technology-enhanced learning, with the move to initially emergency remote teaching, necessitating the development of skills and knowledge in technology use in order to deliver teaching and learning through an online medium. The focus of this PhD project is to explore the perspectives of EAP teachers from a social cultural viewpoint based on Vygotsky's views, where individual, social and context-based issues impact on learning and behaviour. The research is exploring how EAP teachers use technology-enhanced learning in their teaching, the factors which underlie this use, and also the professional development opportunities which they consider support and develop their digital literacy skills. The research project was initially intended to focus solely on classroom-based practice. However, the scope has widened based on the impact of COVID and looking beyond COVID as technology-enhanced learning becomes the new normal. So moving on to the research design, this uses a mixed methods approach comprising of 2 main phases. The first phase is quantitative, and data collection was undertaken via an online questionnaire which contained a mixture of Likert scale statements and open questions. This method was used to gain a broad overview of the topic and has a sample size of 90 participants. The analysis of the questionnaire results will be used to lead into the second phase, the qualitative phase, where semi-structured interviews will be conducted to gain in-depth perspectives from teachers. This method has an intended sample size of 15 participants, and the analysis will then lead to the integration, where both sets of results and analysis will be discussed. At this point in time, Phase 1, which is the online questionnaire, has been completed, and phase 2, the interviews, are yet to begin. Therefore, the key themes which arose from the online questionnaire will be presented. In phase 1, the data collection took place during the months of August to November 2020, covering a time when summer pre-sessionals were taking place and the new academic year began under the backdrop of COVID. To begin with the demographics, the online questionnaire was completed by 90 participants from the BALEAP community, the majority of whom are based in the UK. The length of EAP teaching experience ranged from under a year to over 40 years, with the majority having between 3 and 10 years experience. There was a dramatic contrast in relation to the length of online EAP teaching experience, as although this ranged from 1 month to 12 years, 73% of the participants had limited experience of between 1 to 6 months of online teaching experience at this particular period in time. Moving on to how EAP teachers use technology-enhanced learning. The word cloud shows the results of the top 3 technological tools participants used most frequently in their EAP teaching. We can see video conferencing tools including Zoom and MS Teams being the most frequently used, which likely reflects the shift to online teaching which had taken place just prior to and during the data collection period. Virtual learning environments, including Moodle, Canvas, Blackboard, and Blackboard Collaborate, were also used frequently, highlighting the context-based requirements of different institutions that teachers work for. 81% of participants agreed or strongly agreed that they use technology to promote student engagement. And we can see the quizzing tools Kahoot and Quizlet featured here. YouTube and TED-Ed videos are also among the top 3 technological tools used. And in terms of skills development, 82% agreed or strongly agreed that they use technology to develop academic listening skills, the highest level of the 4 skills. For academic writing skills development, the agreement figure was 68%, and we can see collaboration tools Padlet and Google Docs are featured in the word cloud, with 75% of participants agreeing or strongly agreeing that they use technology to promote collaborative working and tasks. This word cloud shows a range of other technological tools that were identified by participants as having been used in their EAP teaching. We can see further collaboration tools such as Google Slides, and 80% of participants agreed or strongly agreed that they use technology to develop materials, and the word cloud features a number of tools for creating videos and multimedia content such as H5P, Xerti, Hot Potatoes and VoiceThread, highlighting the materials design aspects teachers use technology for. There are also tools to support academic writing, including the academic word list highlighter and referencing software, EndNote and Mendeley included. While a wide variety of tools were identified here, 63% of participants also felt that the range of different technological tools available to them was overwhelming, highlighting a need for focused professional development. Let's move on to the factors which underlie the use of technology in EAP teaching. There were various factors identified which presented a mixed picture and were grouped into institutional, practical and personal levels. At the institutional level, this was context-based, as 72% of participants indicated that their institution specified which technological tools they were to use in teaching online. There was some dissatisfaction expressed about the support available, as although 82% of participants agreed or strongly agreed that their institution promoted the use of technology in teaching, this dropped to only 52% when it came to the provision of pedagogical support for teaching using technology that was provided by the institution. On a practical level, this was individually mediated, as teachers commented that they used technology based on how it allowed for lesson content to be delivered and also learning outcomes of the lesson to be met. Comments such as the lesson aim must dictate the technological tools used and not the other way around, and another which commented that the teacher asked themselves, does the tool help in meeting the intended learning outcomes? Practicality was also socially mediated, as the practical usability of the tool and also its accessibility for students was also a factor in deciding which technology to use. Comments included considering, is the technological tool user-friendly and easily accessible? And also that technology use is a difficult learning curve for students and teachers. Students require a lot of direction at first. On a personal level, in relation to confidence in using technology in EAP teaching, a slightly low percent, at 63%, expressed they were confident in using technology, leaving around a third of participants lacking confidence in this area. There was an interesting finding in that although 67% of participants felt it was important to employ technology in their EAP teaching, comments indicated that this was individually mediated, with the time investment required in using the tool in teaching being considered, and also its impact on the work-life balance of the teacher being a factor. We'll now move on to a focus on professional development. Looking beyond COVID, whether teaching returns primarily face-to-face, a blended approach, or continues with online provision, 73% of participants agreed or strongly agreed that they are keen to learn more about using technology in their teaching, with 72% of participants agreeing that it's necessary for them to develop technological skills for their future career prospects. For professional development in using technology, self-development and self-exploration were the most cited methods, with 78% of participants agreeing or strongly agreeing this was how they upskilled. This was mainly through informal professional development, such as reading articles, accessing practical guides, attending webinars, and watching YouTube videos. Social interaction in technology training also played a large part, with technological support from colleagues at 68% agreement, with comments made such as, almost all my ideas come from colleagues and we share knowledge and experience. And also, advice from my personal networks of colleagues and friends was the method used to learn about technology in teaching. Social media sites, Facebook and Twitter, were also cited, with comments such as, they have the latest news and developments, and I follow the latest ELT tech trends. While 61% agreed or strongly agreed that their institution provided access to professional development in order to support their technology use, there was general dissatisfaction with this, with only 41% of participants regularly taking part in professional development which was delivered by their institution and concerned the use of technology in teaching. Comments included, it would help if I had institutional support. There is the expectation to use technology, but no support to do so. And another stating, In my institution, there is little technology teaching support, so I don't feel that I make the best use of available resources. In terms of formal professional development, such as undertaking IT qualifications or MOOCs, these were not taken up so highly at 42% of agreement. However, several comments cited the University of Sheffield's Learning Technologies in EAP course and a corpus MOOC from the University of Lancaster as examples of training undertaken which were beneficial for teachers. An area which may be of consideration for professional development going forward is that of technology standards. 56% agreed or strongly agreed that having a set of standards for the use of technology in EAP would be beneficial. Whilst this was not such a high figure at just over half the participants, this is an area which could possibly be explored under the remit of the BALEAP TELSIG or as part of the BALEAP competency framework. Although COVID has accelerated the pace of technology-enhanced learning, this is a trend that is set to continue and flourish in HE beyond this time, and something which EAP teachers are at the forefront of. To conclude, this presentation has covered an overview of the research that I am undertaking and also presented some of the key results from Phase 1, the online questionnaire, with the aim of presenting the views of EAP teachers on their use of technology-enhanced learning. The next steps of the research are to begin Phase 2 of data collection and to undertake semi-structured interviews to follow up on and expand on the key themes that are presented. I would also encourage you to consider what professional development opportunities are required to meet your needs in employing technology-enhanced learning in the current climate and beyond COVID. And perhaps more importantly, also the steps we can take to ensure these opportunities are provided. If anyone has any questions or comments about the research, please feel free to get in touch with me. My email address is at the bottom of the screen. I would welcome any feedback and suggestions. These are the references for this presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.